Okay. Right, this is going to be a challenging one colour-wise. I don't like the colours in this original. I don't know what we're going to do with these colours. We'll soon find out. We're going to go 2-colour with this job. We're going to go, it's a full colour image, but it's not terribly colourful. So we're going to just hang it, bang it, and we're going to make something totally different. We're going to use a full colour image to make a two-colour or a dual colour job. So now we're just going to leave it on 100. This will be a funny one. It's an interesting one, if you could call it interesting. Copy density, we're going to have to lighten it a bit. Right, this will be an interesting one. Well, actually, we're going to start this off as a full colour image, and then we're going to add the back. We're going to create a background colour job. We're just going to make a movement job first of this original. It is North Shore Living. Yes, it's Snooty. That's the North Shore of Sydney. That's a very snooty area. It has a reputation of being snooty. And this is a very snooty area where I live. Sorry, folks, I live in a snooty area, but I can't afford to have heating and air conditioning, so basically I can't afford to heat and cool my unit, which means if I live out in the western suburbs, I could die of heat stress or hypothermia. I could either die of hot or cold, because in the west it often plunges to just below zero or at zero overnight, and it's bad enough here that it drops to 7 or 6 degrees here at night. It's absolutely horrible, and my body just can't tolerate it, so I need a place that's temperate. And also it's familiarity. I've been brought up on this fucking place. I shouldn't call them stupid, but my parents, notably my father, he's kind of snooty, even though he was working class. And he used to say terrible things about the western suburbs, or at least he didn't say that many terrible things, but he basically used to threaten me and say that if you don't do your schoolwork, and you're going to end up in the western suburbs. So my dad even though my dad was never a rich man exactly, just middle class, if barely middle class, he used to still make that snide comment or threat about the western suburbs. I'm sure the western suburbs aren't that bad. It's just the temperature is so bitterly cold or scorchingly hot, I would end up dead. And I just can't afford, with this huge electricity costs, I just don't have that sort of money. It's hard. My power bills keep going up and up and up, and that's without any fucking heating or cooling. So at the moment it's just, this is the second day of spring, so we've just finished winter officially, but it's still going to get cold. And in summertime it gets scorchingly hot. So now this looks interesting. Now it looks really cool. That'll really this is a really good take on something snooty. But my dad wanted me to grow up to be a rich person. I'm sure he did. My mum did too. They basically wanted me to complete high school, not just year 10, but year 12. But because of my disabilities, I couldn't do very well at school, and I had so much expectations put on my head, even though I was disabled, but no one knew, including myself, that I had disabilities. So I just blundered my way through school, through whatever, and it's only just been... I knew I had disabilities in the 90s when I started to go to work and things weren't happening as well as they should. But basically, yeah, it was like I had so many expectations placed on me at school, and I just couldn't. I just didn't want to stay at school. I just wanted to be a photocopier technician. I didn't need to go and do uni for that. I could just do TAFE, and work experience or get it. I actually had a job in that field, working for Xerox, and basically I just forgot to put the mirror image. So I worked for Xerox and did a traineeship, and I didn't do very well in the traineeship or at the job, and it just took a long time to work out that I had disabilities, and then I discovered I had more disabilities. But basically, yeah, it wasn't easy for me, and I really felt like I let the side down. But what can you do? If you're disabled, you can't be expected to work full pelt. You can't be expected to be able to compete with the average Joe Blogs. And I just feel so disappointed that I couldn't make something of myself because of the problems I had. I couldn't even be social. I got bullied more often than I had friends, and that really sucked shit. And of course the disability is at the heart of all my problems. Apparently what happened was when I was born I had a cord around my neck and I came out feet first, or breech position, and the oxygen was cut off, and that destroyed parts of the brain essential for learning, like the hippocampus and the short-term memory. And both those areas are easily affected by oxygen starvation. I've done a little bit of study into it. And basically, the hippocampus is the part of the brain that turns short-term memories into long-term memories. So if you have a shortage of neurons in both those departments and you're trying to learn, basically you're fucked. You're totally fucked. You're not going to learn hardly shit, and it's been proven. But anyway, enough about that. I'm just concentrating as much as I can on this. This is what I can do. So this looks brilliant. I think now we can call it quits.